So you're volunteering on your HOA board, trying to make your community a better place. That's fantastic. But what if I told you that that very role, that volunteer position, could put your house, your car, your personal savings, everything at risk? Today we're going to talk about how you protect yourself, because this is a risk that's way more real than most people think.
Let me just cut right to the chase with a pretty serious question. Could serving on your HOA board literally bankrupt you? I know it sounds super dramatic, right? But it's a potential reality that every single volunteer board member is facing, whether they know it or not.
And here's the scary part. If your board gets accused of what's called a wrongful act, and that could be anything from mismanaging the budget to just denying a neighbor's request to paint their shutters, board members can be sued individually. We're not talking about the HOA's bank account here. We're talking about your personal bank account.
Look, I know your time is valuable, so I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to dig into this. Learning how to protect yourself and the community you serve, well, it's just so important.
All right, let's dive into Section 1. We're going to clear up a really common and, frankly, a really costly misunderstanding about the insurance your HOA has and what it actually does.
So many boards think their general liability policy, or GL, is this magic umbrella that covers everything. It's not even close. GL is for physical stuff. Think slip and fall at the community pool. Directors and officers insurance, D&O, is totally different. It's for the decisions your board makes. It's for your brain, not for scraped knees.
You know, the absolute best way to think about D&O insurance is this. It's basically malpractice insurance for your board. I mean, you're a volunteer, but you're still making huge financial and governance decisions. D&O is the policy that has your back when those decisions get challenged.
So, what is this wrongful act thing we keep talking about? It's a broad term, but it basically covers any claim that comes from how you manage the HOA. This could be anything from a breach of duty, to mismanaging money, to being accused of enforcing the rules unfairly. Okay, enough with the theory. What does this stuff look like in the real world? Let's walk through a few real-life lawsuits that boards like yours have to deal with all the time.
First up, a real classic, and one that happens way too often: failure to maintain common areas.
Okay, picture this. A homeowner tells the board about a roof leak coming from a common area. The board kind of drags its feet on the repair. Next thing you know, that unit has massive water damage, and the homeowner isn't just suing the HOA, they're suing the board members personally for failing in their duty. Your general liability policy, it's not going to touch this. Only D&O will.
All right, scenario number 2, let's talk about the money.
Let's say an audit finds out that for the last few years, the board has been dipping into the reserve funds to pay for regular operating costs. Suddenly, a bunch of angry residents get together and file a lawsuit, claiming that this financial mess has hurt their property values. And yep, they're suing the board members directly.
And for our third scenario, let's get into what can be a real minefield: enforcing the rules.
So a resident wants to build a new deck, and the board says no. But the resident turns around and points out that 3 of their neighbors have almost identical decks that were approved. Now they're suing for discrimination, claiming the board is applying the rules unfairly. This is a classic D&O claim.
Man, these are tough situations, right? I'm sure some of you watching have been in the middle of something similar. Have you ever had to deal with a really tricky board decision? I'd love to hear about it. Drop your story, anonymously of course, in the comments below. Your experience might just help someone else out.
Okay, so we've seen the problems. Now let's talk about the solution. What does this financial shield, your D&O policy, actually do for you when you get that dreaded letter from a lawyer?
First and foremost, D&O pays for your lawyer. This is absolutely the most critical part, because even if a lawsuit against you is completely ridiculous and has no merit, you still have to pay a lawyer to defend yourself. D&O also covers settlements and judgments and can even cover you if an employee, like a property manager, sues for something like wrongful termination.
And those legal costs? They are astronomical. I mean, look at this. The average cost to just defend a wrongful termination suit can easily blow past $100,000. So if you don't have D&O insurance, let me ask you, where's that money coming from? The HOA budget or your own pocket?
And that brings me to a really crucial question for every single board member watching right now. Do you actually know what's in your D&O policy? A lot of them have sneaky little sublimits or exclusions for certain claims that could leave you wide open. Are you positive you're really covered?
Okay, let's turn all this awareness into action. It is time to make sure that you and your fellow volunteers are 100% protected.
Because here's the thing.
Just having a policy filed away in a cabinet isn't good enough. An old policy that hasn't been looked at in 5 years might not cover the kinds of risks HOAs are facing today, and an adequate policy is almost as dangerous as having no policy at all.
So how do you fix this? It's a super simple 3-step process. Step 1, just click the link you see in the description below. Step 2, you'll get a free, no-strings-attached review of your current policy to find any gaps. And Step 3, you get that amazing peace of mind that comes from knowing your personal assets are safe.
And I want to be clear, this is not some long, complicated headache. We respect that your time is valuable. We can get you a quick quote in just a few minutes, so you can see how easy it is to get your board fully covered.
Look, the bottom line is this. You volunteer your time, your energy, your weekends to make your community better. You should never, ever have to volunteer your personal finances too. So click that link right now and get protected. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to manage your HOA's risk. Thanks for watching.